whatever you are, don't ever think you cannot be whatever you want to be. Because this world provides equal opportunities for all of you.
Welcome to the Global Indian Podcast, the world's greatest journey and the official platform for people of Indian origin. Because let's face it, we are everywhere. Welcome back to The Voice. This is Season 2, Episode 19 of a two-part special with an incredible individual, Vijay Patel, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and importantly, a global Indian on a mission to make a difference. This podcast has been supported by our dear friends at ShareMe.com, the app for all your beauty, fitness, and wellness needs. Now you know my story. My name is Rajan Nazran, and I explore. For over a decade, I've traveled the globe, piecing together the kaleidoscope that is our community. I've been held hostage, faced Ebola, and met extraordinary individuals, often in destinations that would surprise you. In this season, I'm joined by my dear friends from around the globe, and we take you on a voyage for the ears as we plunge into the human experience of being a person of Indian origin, take a closer look at the countries we now call home, and tackle the big issues that we need to know. This two-part special is a conversation with a remarkable person whose own life is a living encyclopedia of inner strength, the power of parenting, and the human spirit of ingenuity. In this open discussion, we look at the role of identity, the power of heritage, and a deeper look into the role of Indianness and what does it equate to in modern day society. As always, you can find out more about the Global Indian series at the end of the podcast. Now, if you're listening via Podbean, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and do leave a comment. Also, it means that you never miss a future episode. If you listen to this via YouTube, you've got no excuses. The world has this, so make sure you share it with all your friends or your family. And again, make sure you subscribe. That way, you never miss an episode, and you can also browse through the stories so far. I really hope you enjoy this session.
Get up and just move. 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 Get up and just.
There's one thing that we spoke about in the phone that I want to touch on is this pride of identity. And you said when you first came to the UK, it was quite tough because the confidence in who you were hadn't shaped as of yet.
You're very perceptive, Rajan. I must give you that. You made a note of what my anxieties were and you brought that up. Yeah. What it was, listen, you are a guy who has walked in from Kenya. You have never been to England. You're in a strange country, in a country that's not yours, where you're not born and brought, and then you're living amongst white population is very, very different to you. And I never felt unwelcome. At the same time, never felt welcome. I couldn't knock on somebody's door and ask, "Oh, mate, I'm lost here. Can you help me?" You know, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the confidence, in all fairness, to walk into a five-star hotel like the Hilton or the Claridge's. I just would think, what if someone asked me what I'm doing here? Because I didn't have a penny in my pocket. And I didn't have the confidence to walk in one of those institutions. No way. And so, I had to get that over a period of time when one realizes that, these people are good. These people are accommodating. And once you go to university, it's very different. You meet your contemporaries and then you are even Stevens. You are all at a college and 90% of them are white folk. And you mix with them. And also while you're doing your A-levels, you meet people. Well, I was doing my A-levels. I met a lot of lads, English lads, and Indian lads, of course. But then, you get more and more comfortable in your skin with them. Or because you are residing in a country that is yours. But once you are successful in your own right, I tell you, you get a hell of a lot of confidence in yourself. You're very comfortable in your own skin. You walk, meet people. You're never shy. I think if you look somebody in the eye and say, "Hello, mate, how are you? I'm good to meet you." I probably wouldn't have done that before. I'd say hello with a limp handshake. That was the difference. Now, if I meet anybody, I meet anybody from royalty down to my gardener here and my estate workers, and I treat them the same. I don't see any difference. Absolutely no difference now. people.
Do you feel that we've done enough as a community then, globally, to give
So
ourselves that
contribution to the
empowerment?
circle, meaning contribution to the society we live in?
Yeah,
Or-
I think more so as global Indians, we're part of this fraternity, but do we spur each other with the confidence needed to say, actually, it's possible. We can do this. You can walk with your head held high.
Well, you know, I do that in schools anyway.
Yeah, you
And I
do.
say to
Of
them, each
course.
one of you can make it. And I mean, you know, it doesn't matter what student I'm talking to, I treat them all the same because they're all the same. Meaning, I can say, wherever. And you know, one of the questions I start my speeches off with is, okay, guys, how many of you are bright here? So like two guys will put their hands up. Then I will ask, how many, well, a lot of you don't think you're bright, okay, fine. So how many of you think you're mediocre or middling, you know, kind of stuff? Most of the hands go up. And then I say to them, you know what, that's where I am from, right? That's exactly where I'm from. I was middling to below average. And then you have both my hands up, I'll raise my hand in both the camps, because that's what I am. So I'm going to do, well, whatever you are, don't ever think you cannot be whatever you want to be. Because this world provides equal opportunities for all of you here in this room. There are 300 of you here. Each one has the same chance in life to succeed. There would be all, the entire population here, you know, the blacks, the browns, the yellows, and the whites. This class full of totally United Nations there. And each, you know, this is the amazing thing. Everyone has the same opportunity in this country.
Yeah.
Okay, that's at least what I have found. Now, at FTSE 100 level, perhaps there is not that much integration at the very top level, but still now there is more penetration. Well, what the reason is, I don't know. But I never wanted to be a CEO for FTSE 100 or a CFO. I'm very happy being an entrepreneur, building my own business. Yeah, but yeah, you know, that corporate level, there is not maybe enough representation. But then, you know, we mustn't forget there are, what's the Asian population here, or non-English, maybe 3-4%.
Yeah, it's
total.
tiny.
Yeah, so it's 2 million out of 66 million, so it's not that much. But if that proportionally is represented, I think not. In banking there is, but not at the highest echelons. But at quite senior levels, there are lots of Indians.
Absolutely. Vijay, what's your biggest fear?
Well, at the moment, this thing, you know, the virus. But I think that COVID does really frighten me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been housebound for 40 odd days and I'm really concerned, you know, and my wife was saying, you haven't been out at all. I at least go to the shops, you know, to do my weekly shopping. He said, okay, tomorrow we must take a ride out.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, besides that, in this country, I think commercially there's going to be a fair amount of problem, but for Indians or Asians, there'll be no different problem than they have today.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the population. I don't see any extra fear for immigrants compared to what it is. I don't see any real fear in that sense. But I think businesses will get harder. Of course, as time goes, things get harder. I think, and those people who are half literate will suffer. You've got to be literate to succeed in this society or this world today, wherever you are.
Well, maybe I'll define it more. What's your biggest emotional fear for maybe the community? Do you think that as a global Indian community, what would be your biggest fears around that? Because it's a fraternity that we're all part of.
Yes, we are all Indians, but I think I genuinely believe that we should never forget. I think there's a chance that we may want not to identify as Indian. And I come across some people who say, you know, I'm English, which is fine. You are. You're living in England. You're born here. So effectively English. But your heritage is non-English, isn't it? And some people say, I'm not that interested. And when we lose that, and if we lose more of that, that will be a crying shame, Rajan. I think we should never forget our heritage. And I think there is fear of that. You go to West Indies.
Yeah.
They're integrated totally. Huh?
Yeah.
And some of them have Indian names, and they're mainly from India. Yeah. And some of them, that's the only identity you have. Otherwise, you think there's just a local guy, you know, because they're intermarried, haven't they? They're married to the locals there. And now there's a whole community there of West Indians. And a lot of them are Indians. They got Indian heritage. And I think the same is going to happen here. But at the same time, I would not like to lose my identity. And I fear, that's your question, to answer your question, I think we are going to lose that. And I think two things, is time is the main thing. Time, in time this does happen. Don't forget, you know what, your children, how many times have they been to India? Or
You're very young.
yeah, but you know, even
Yeah.
talk to a 20-year-old. He'll say, oh yeah, I went to Papa once, maybe I went another for a jolly. Oh yeah, I went in my backpack here, I went around the world, I went to India. But that's it.
But does India matter to you, or does Indianness matter to you most? Because they're two very different things.
Yeah,
India is this
there.
geographical location there.
I'm Indian. I want to remain an Indian. My values are Indian. And I would never want those. And you know what keeps you Indian is your tradition, your culture. And that I don't want to lose. I don't want my kids to lose that.
Do you think that Indian culture is evolving in terms of, now we're so far, like you're Kenyan as well, you know, so you're...
Exactly, it's diluted.
Like, so you are like the United Nations of Indianness. You're 50 shades of brown, Vij. That's what it is. You're Kenyan, British, Indian.
I'm 50 shades of black and brown. Born in, but that's it, We are seriously, that's I lived in 3 continents. My parents came from Africa. I'm from Africa, Indian, born in Africa and living in UK. And my children will probably end up in America for all I know. In fact, my son, who's been to Harvard, is very keen on saying, I love the country, Dad. I might even end up there. So, you know, there's a possibility of them moving to the US.
Here's a question for you. India obviously means something to you.
Sure. I think it's going to be diluted when it comes to my kids.
It's going to be that. So India means something to you, and India meant something to your mother.
Very much. So, no, my mother was 100% Indian. You know, we took her ashes there all the way back there. Only 2 months ago.
So do you feel that your mother meant anything to India as part of the diaspora?
No, India, she was Indian.
That for sure. But do you feel that, so your mother, India meant something to your mother?
She was India.
She was India.
She lived, even now, she never changed her attire. Nothing was English about her. You know, she spoke a bit of English, not fluently, but she spoke English enough to communicate with the domestic staff and the people she came across in her life. But other than that, she was 100% Indian.
But do you feel that she meant anything to India?
You know what? They just write us off, I think, mainly as NRIs.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think India is such a big population. You know, a lot of my philanthropic work, most of it, not all of it.
Most of it's in India. Yeah, you've got the special schools.
And also at the instigation of my mom. We just opened a beautiful hospital there.
Yeah, the Shri Krishna Hospital.
Yeah. So, and then we got another eye hospital which I sponsor in Rajkot, which is Saurashtra. I got a school there. I got a Waymade University there. So, you know, all that work is done there. Of course, we've done in my process, donated to Bristol University. I have donated to Leicester, De Montfort, and we continue to do good work here as well.
But they
like
still.
Hospices and
I was going to say, but you were kind of written off as a NRI. But
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't think I really genuinely do not feel that I would be valued in India as such. You know, there's an NRI. You know, that's a term they use for us. Yeah, NRI.
Do you feel that we're valued to each other? So let's put India out the way. Do you feel we're valued to other Indians out there?
Out in India?
Oh, globally.
Globally? I think there is that rapport, isn't there? Don't forget, you know, if you live in America, you're half American. If you live here, you're half English. 50 years is a long time. How long have you been here, Rajan?
Sorry?
How long have you been here?
I was born here. I'm a Brahmi, and I'm young, Vijay. Don't let the white hairs fool you. You know.
No, I've been here 50 years, so you know I've been here longer than anywhere else. So you know all that you do take in all that, don't you? But still, in my heart, I'm Indian. Don't ask me about the cricket.
I was say because you're notoriously an England cricket fan, right? It's
No, I am. I'm afraid. I do because you know what? The whole country has a good feeling when England wins. Can you imagine if you win the World Cup? How many weeks we live on that World Cup? or, football. Yeah. European Cup or the World Cup. I mean, we haven't won the World Cup since 1964. But that elation is even there today. And the whole country feels good. And if the country feels good, you feel good. So that's
Your
my challenge.
connection to India, is it really from the influence of your mum? Because your
I
mum
think
was
my
such a...
mum was a very, very big influence. All the charities done in Shanta Foundation, that's her.
It's hers, yeah.
Yeah, and the qualities that I may and may not have is I have to thank my mum for 100%, because she's very, very strong part. Out of our three siblings, probably I was the closest to mum because she's always with me. I mean, of course, my brother was there, but I think out of the three siblings, I was the closest to mum. But 100% Rajan, I'm Indian.
Do you
But
feel
maybe some people I meet in this
Yeah.
country are a lot less Indian than I am.
Yeah.
And they want to, some of them I notice time and again that they don't want to be identified as that. And obviously you don't discuss that with them, but you see that,
Yeah.
right, don't go to India. No, not interested. You do see that, and then it's the first thing you do is drop that conversation, don't you?
Yeah. Well, do you feel global India is changing? Do you feel India's changed in your lifetime?
100%. It has, commercially it has grown in the last 25 years. Big time, big, very big time. India has a lot. This is the century for India and China. They'll both be the superpowers. They already are superpowers, but they will both be very powerful commercially. India, number one, because of population, same as China, they both equal population. But secondly, 400 million people speak fluent English. And
Yeah.
that's the global language.
And there's
China
no
has the biggest
dislocation of
handicap.
language, yeah.
China has the biggest handicap in that. The only thing is we are a democratic country, China isn't. So they can do a lot of things that India can't.
What would have to happen for you to feel that you're valued by India?
To be honest, when
Because
I go
it's
there,
much
when I
more
do
than
some
awards,
charity
though,
work, it
isn't it?
looks good.
So it's much more than getting an award. It's much more than that. It has to be a real emotional pull.
I don't think there is. I've never felt that. I've never felt that people who are my equivalent there all have said, well, nice that you're doing something. I do a lot of charity work in India. I have a lot of wealthy friends there as well. Not one of them has asked me, what the hell are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Can we contribute a little bit? Not once in all this, in my entire life. They first, they don't ask the details of the charity I'm doing, to avoid the embarrassment of saying, well, you know what, that's nice, but I'm not paying anything towards it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't have any expectations. But what I'm saying is, no, you know what? Who values you? The people who you donate to. They value you because obviously you're donating. There are institutions there who, because you are connected with them, they value you. Well, obviously your sterling goes a long way.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm doing it because
Absolutely.
I don't need any recognition. I'm not, it's nice. Adulation is nice, yes. But, if it isn't there, hallelujah, get on with
But I
life.
think there's still a part of you, and we're having very open conversation about it, that would feel that you're doing so much. You've almost raised the flag in the bar of saying this is what's possible. Surely there's a part of you that thinks, well, actually, it would be nice. Not that it's necessary, but it'd just be nice for India or this notion of Indianness to feel like a validating experience for each other.
Yeah, I don't think there is that. But
But the question is, what would have to happen for you to feel that way? Like, what would be that nice thing to do that makes you think, fuck, yeah, actually, yeah, that I've been embraced,
Well, I was given an OBE last year, which was nice.
Yeah.
For, two things they cited on there was business and charity work. And it was nice, I thought.
But that was by the UK. That wasn't by India.
India, that will never happen. They're just not interested in that. Because, they are, I'm afraid I'm disappointed in that sense. Yeah, and when we go there, they say, oh, you know what, you go all the way from there and you're doing this for us. Ah, nice. But then on the other breath, they'll say, you know what, the fuckers have a lot of money.
Yeah.
We're giving a little bit here. Which is true, we have money, so we're giving it. But we feel for the country we are from. And that's why we do it. And there's need there. And I mean, lot of very wealthy Indians here and in the US, they don't do anything for India. Because they do it there, perhaps, I don't know. And, it's nothing wrong. I mean, nothing wrong in doing charity anywhere. It's needed everywhere. But I suppose I do feel that a pound goes a lot further in Africa and in India. We endowed a school in Africa as well.
Yeah, well,
So,
you supported the school in Sierra Leone as well, haven't you? The Leone
yes,
House.
Leon, and also we got a school with Mom's name again because Mom was a teacher there in the town, so we built a school and all that. And in fact, I was supposed to visit there in April with a view to see if I can do something very special there since Mom went, but couldn't travel this time. I had to cancel all my travel plans right up to the end of the year now, like everybody else, yeah. But no, I don't expect anything from India, you see, and I don't want anything. But you're talking about recognition, right?
Yeah,
From
well,
your
you know
contemporaries.
what I'm talking about. It's something that goes far deep, is enriching in the soul, just to say, because you've dedicated your life. Your mum was a proud Indian. You've done everything in your life to almost uphold her values, and you made a success in the corporate world. We've also made a success as being a social custodian to communities, and you look beyond skin color and religion. But part of that is the pride of India, because you've done this. And when people look at you, realistically, Vijay, you know what it's like. When people say, where are you from? They're not looking at, oh, you must be from Kenya or you must be from Britain. They look at your skin color and say, you're Indian, right? Yeah, I am. So you're still a flag bearer of India.
I am.
Wouldn't
But you know what?
wouldn't it be nice for India just to recognize those accomplishments that go beyond finances?
It'd be nice for them to say, we've got some lovely Indians there who, come and do some work here. I mean, they say that in speeches when you're opening a school, or a hospital. They say all this. Nothing follows. Nothing follows. Yeah. But then, hey, what does one do anyway? They might say, okay, Padma Bhushan, your title, your badge, frankly, it doesn't matter. An iota to me, yes or no. What I want is people to benefit from what I'm doing. And hopefully I can continue to sponsor that. We got COVID in our hospital there now. Last week I got a message, says, 50 lakh rupees chahiye, bahut zarurat hai. They could send me the full project, why you are short and why do you need it. And they have, till I send all this, they'll be on the case. And once I've done that, I won't hear from them. But that's fine. I am sending the money anyway. To be honest, Rajan, you'll be very disappointed if you expect any recognition from your country. I shouldn't.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't. And I've gone beyond that.
Yeah, but I know, but that's the thing. I think it's the fact that you're not expecting it. But the question is, do people warrant it? And that's a very different question, saying, well, have your contributions as a global Indian been significant that it matters to each other? And I think that's what we're changing with the series.
What? I would like it to matter to my friends, and I would like it to matter to the people I'm helping, and because it's embittered their lives. I come across, over the last 30 years, I've done so much charity work there. It's not enough, by the way, but what I have done. Yeah. I'll tell you an example, an incident. We used to do a lot of polio operations. So, and I used to sponsor them all every year. Anyway, so one year I go there and there were 1,000 people there, patients we invite to hospitals to help them. And we got all specialties waiting for them and we select patients or not, we vet them and put them in specialties, etc., etc. There's this girl, very young, in the early 20s, clearing all the crowd and coming in. And she touched my feet, like they do. She says, you didn't recognize me. I said, oh, Ben, no, I didn't. I'm sorry, because I see thousands of people when I come here. She says, oh, you forget, but don't worry. He said, I know you see a lot of people. Last year, you paid for my polio operation. And did you see, I actually walked in, struggled by vein, and I'm not limping. I said, I'm really pleased. Then she said, I used to be on my force before that. So she was, then she showed me a palm. She said it used to be very hard because I was on my force. So I was getting softer. And now my mom and dad are looking for a boy for me. So I'm going to get married. At this stage, I was crying. And you know what? There's just one girl who came and told me this story. And I was flooding with tears. And I said, look, that is enough for me to have done just once. And I would have been more than happy if I had done it for one person. I've done it for hundreds. But she's the only girl who came and said this to me. Out of thousands that we've done, and we continue to do that. But yeah, and you know what? That is so rewarding and humbling. I don't need recognition. That's my recognition. The fact that I've changed her life, paid for umpteen operations, umpteen surgery. We have an eye hospital in Rajkot, near Rajkot. And this January, We had 2,000 patients coming, and we are going to be operating on about 300 to 400 eyes. Children all under 16 is our specialty. Our thesis is prevention of blindness in children under 16. And we have vans we send out to various locations like markets, schools, gatherings, where we have an ophthalmologist and a nurse in a van. And we invite patients, children under 16, can you check your eyes? And if they need any help, we say, okay, go and get your parents, because you need some help here. So we would meet the parents, and often they're very poor. So we said, look, if you don't, if required, we say, your child is going to be blind, but by the time he's a teenager, 16, we can help, no cost to you, absolutely no cost. We'll collect you, we'll keep you there, and your parent, meaning parent, one parent or two parents come in, we put them up in the hospital, do the operation for the child, keep them for a week and send them back. And you know what? Often the parents say, but you know what? We are day wages. If you work, what are you going to eat when you come back? So what we say is, how much do you want? You say 5,000 rupees a day or 5,000 rupees a week. It's okay. We'll pay that as well. So we take them there in our transport, give them the money for the week. They stay there, come back with a child whose eye is perfect. And again, that's amazingly rewarding work, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. It comes back to
So
that.
you know what? I don't want any rewards from people. I want thank you to the guys whose life has changed, and because it has changed, I don't particularly thank you. I just want to feel good.
But Vijay, I think what annoys me is I'm lucky in the sense that we know each other, and it's different because what you do is so much more, because you don't do it for the publicity, and you never have, and you've made these differences, you've helped people out genuinely. But as part of that social custodianship, it would be nice that we recognize each other all over the globe to say, it's not just about business, it's about what are we doing to create a better environment for us all. That type of recognition. Because for me, when I look at you, I think you should be a benchmark for a lot of entrepreneurs out there to say, this is what you can do. And actually, this is what our moral obligation is for, is to help out other global Indians and people, the world as a large, but our Indianness is so much more deeper than we realize.
I think it's human, isn't it? I think you are just to be a global human.
Yeah, global human. That's
of course, you are Indian, but it has to be a global human. And charity comes. To be honest, one makes wealth, and then what happens to it? If you don't do any good, it's very selfish, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good. To finish up on, what would be your pearls of wisdom to other global Indians listen to this podcast who have found themselves in foreign lands, who have got a total dislocation of culture and language, that are making their way forward? What would be your 5 top tips for them?
I would say we are all brothers and sisters, end of the day, from the same country. I would just urge you not to forget India and where we come from. Never forget where you come from. That is the most important thing. And to sum up, my mom always used to say, "Beta, aato do pair hai, koi badi baat nahi. Kal shayad nahi hoga mail hai na, mail haath se. Don't forget where you come from. End of the day, we are Indians. And never forget those values. Wherever in the world, don't forget your Indian values. And the Indian values, they don't demand a lot of you. Just be yourself. And don't forget your country. Don't forget your ancestry." That's all I have to say.
What a fantastic episode. I'm sure you agree. Listen to Vijay feels almost like listening to an older statesman. And least we forget, this is a gentleman who, way before my time, he's a generation ahead, as he's rightly said, had gone out there across the globe, meeting with the kaleidoscope that was the Indian community way before technology entered in. It's a fantastic conversation. It's definitely one that I think everybody should be understanding even deeply. What is the role of heritage, of our traditions, the traditions that we choose to keep hold of? As always, thank you for listening. And if you'd like to find out more about the Global Indian Series, reach out to us via Instagram or social media like YouTube. Instagram handle is @Nazrans or the Global Indian Series, or via YouTube, just type in the Global Indian Series. You see the icon come up there. Here you can reach out, give us suggestions on areas that you like us to cover, maybe ideas on interviews, but also a way that we can share your story as well. Until we speak next week, I hope all remains well. It still is a strange time with COVID. But like Vijay said, never forget, this is an incredible world. Anything and everything is possible.